Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am an English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the writing portion of Unit 8, that is, writing a personal letter. So, let's begin. So, we are now going to start the writing portion of Unit 8, which is called letter writing. Letter writing is an essential skill. There are two types of letter, formal and informal. So, we can divide letters into formal letters and informal letters. Stuffs like, applications, letter to the editor, job application, job letter. These are considered formal letters, while letters like letter to a friend or a relative is considered as informal letter. Now, in this class, we shall study how to write informal letters, or in other words, how to write personal letters. So we'll study the art of personal letter writing, right? That is our main concern. We will learn how to write personal letters. So let's start by learning one sample. Right, here's a sample letter. So let's analyze this letter and let's learn about the different kind of elements that are used in letter writing. First of all, the letter begins from here. Baneswar, Kathmandu, 13th August 2017. So this is what we call sender's address and date. So this section is what we call sender's address and date. Dear Atul, this is what we call greeting or salutation. Greeting, or often called as salutation. What's up? I hope you're doing great in the run. I thought I'd drop you a line to let you know I'm back in Kathmandu from my village and we could start our online work from tomorrow. So this is what we call the first paragraph. So this is nothing but first paragraph, or oftentimes called as the opening paragraph. So this is the opening paragraph or the first paragraph. What's up begins very casually. So this is a very informal way of opening a letter, right? So sender's address and date is given there. Greeting salutation is given below. So first paragraph, this is what we call the first paragraph. Now let's go to the main body. My journey back here was fine, though it was quite a long one. I wanted to travel by a night bus, but guess what? All the night buses were full. So I had no choice but to travel by a small van. The journey took more than 10 hours. By the time we reached here, my legs were tired, but now I am fine. So this is what we call the main body. What is it called? It is called the main body of the letter. Now let's go to the final or the closing paragraph. You've typed all the documents, haven't you? If not, cool. I'll get them completed as I've got a new laptop now. Hey Atul, let's Skype tomorrow at 3. See you. Best regards, Kamal. So this is what we call the final paragraph. And finally, this is what we call the closing. What is it called? It is called the closing. So this best regards is called closing. Best regards, Kamal. Now you can sign your name there. So if you must have noticed that the language of the letter is quite casual. It is very informal. There are no formal elements of letter writing. So we talked about sender's address and date, greeting or salutation, first paragraph, main body, and final paragraph, and finally the closing. Everything is so informal. Everything is so casual, so friendly. So this is why we call it an informal letter or a personal letter, because of the way it is written, you see. Let me talk a bit about some of the key points that should be kept in mind while writing an informal letter. They are: the sender's address is put at the top right hand side and the date below it. So the sender's address is put at the top right hand side and the date below it. Never ever forget this. First we write the address, then we write the date. So we don't write date and then we write the address, right? So address comes on the top and after that comes the date. The second point that you should keep in mind is general greetings for informal letters are. So some of the general way of opening are dear something, dear friend, dear Ram, dear Sham, dear Hari, or simply you can start with a hi. Hi Maya, what's up? Hi love. So, or simply the name of the first person, initial name to whom you are writing, or sometimes you can just begin your letter by writing simply. You can write Ram and start your letter, right? Pretty easy. Or you can write Harry and comma and what's up, This is the general way of greeting in informal letters. Now, the first paragraph generally expresses a greeting followed by wishes of good health and what's going around. So this is how the first paragraph should begin. It should contain express a greeting. It should say something like, hi, hello, how are you? And followed by wishes of good health. I hope you are doing fine. And what's going around? What's up with your new motorbike? What did you do with the new smartphone you got from America? So you can begin like that, right? And now mid paragraphs. Mid paragraphs contain the main message. Mid paragraphs, they contain the main message. So I want you to use what? Use active sentences, not passive voice, contractions, because we are writing very informal letter, questions, exclamations, tag questions, and so on. So why is this done? This is done to make your letters colloquial, to make it colloquial. What does colloquial mean? To make your letter, casual. It's like you're talking to somebody because the language is spoken English or colloquial English is used. Finally, use some friendly remarks. Use some friendly remarks like what? Like best wishes, or it could be simply love. It could be best regards, or it could be yours, or sometimes ever yours, with love, and so on. And add only your first name to close the letter. So no need to write your complete address. The first name, the first address would do, you see. So use some friendly remarks like best wishes, love, best regards, yours, ever yours, with love, and so on. So one example could be something like this. You can close your letter by writing with love, comma, then you need to write your name, Maya. Or it could be something like best, then you can give a comma and write your name, Bibek, best Bibek. So like this, you can actually close your letter, right? This is one of the ways of closing your letter. So let's revise. What are the elements of a personal letter? What are the elements that are used? Elements of a personal, not letters, but letter. What are the elements of a personal letter? So let's learn about the elements of personal letter. The first one is basically address. Written on the right hand side, top below that you should write the date. After that you should write informal salutation. You can write Dear Tulsi, how are you? Informal salutation. After that comes the opening paragraph, followed by the main body, followed by the final paragraph, and the closing. So these are the elements of a personal letter. So personal letter contains address, date, informal salutation, opening paragraph, the main body, the final paragraph, and the closing. Apart from this, personal letter also contains stuffs like use of contractions. Instead of writing I am, in personal letter we simply write I am. So instead of writing I am, we use I'm because it is more informal and it gives colloquial sense, you see. Also, use of intensifiers is quite common. So instead of writing the place is hot, what we write something like the place is what? The place is really hot. We write the place is really hot, you see. So this really is what we call the intensifier. We use A lot of intensifiers, very really. Although it is bad, the weather's been great, really hot and sunny, and me and my family are getting nice and tanned. You see, the language is really colloquial. It is very casual in personal letters. Also, some slangs are used, but not all the time. So you'd find use of slangs. You see, when you're writing personal letter, you can use slangs like cool, the place is really cool, or I don't give a damn, stuffs like that you can actually use in personal letters. Another thing that you can use is what we call details of what they have been doing. So you can give a lot of details. After all, letter writing is all about letting other people know what is going on in your life. You can also use a personal question. So you can use a personal question, and this is often done in personal letters. You can ask a personal question all of a sudden. So I thought the holiday would be real boring, but now I don't want to come home. What's happening with you? Are you getting sick of staying at home? So you can actually ask a personal question, you see. And you can use a lot of colloquial expressions. Dad keeps me telling to get a move on because we are going out. So get a move on, that's very colloquial. So a lot of colloquial expressions are used. Colloquial English is used. Also, there would be informal closing. So instead of writing yours faithfully, yours truly, and stuff like that, we simply close the letter by writing best wishes, best love, and your name, your only first name. Great. With this, we have come to end of today's class. Now I'm going to give you some homework, like always. Your homework will be write a letter to a friend whom you haven't seen or spoken to for a long time. Tell him about what you have been doing and ask him how he is and what he has been up to recently. So that's your homework. I want you to write a letter to a friend whom you haven't seen or spoken to for a long time. Tell him about him or her, about what you have been doing, and ask him how he is and what he has been up to recently. So very informally write an informal letter. So don't forget the key elements from address to the closing, right? Don't forget the elements of letter writing. That's your homework. With this, we have come to the end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.